America, a land of hope, a beacon of opportunity, a place where dreams take flight and aspirations find their wings. From the towering skyscrapers of New York City to the sprawling landscapes of the Midwest, this nation has always been a canvas for the dreams of millions, a nation built on dreams. Dreams that have been carried across oceans and continents, dreams that have been nurtured in the hearts of those seeking a new beginning. Ellis Island stands as a testament to these dreams, a gateway to a land of endless possibilities. From its very inception, America has held a unique place in the global imagination, a symbol of freedom and possibility. The Liberty Bell, the 4th of July celebrations, and the waving flags all echo the same sentiment. A land where liberty and justice are not just ideals, but a way of life. For centuries, people have flocked to its shores, yearning for a better life, a chance to escape poverty, persecution, and the limitations of their birth. They arrived with little more than hope in their hearts and a determination to build a brighter future for themselves and their families. This idea, this promise of a better tomorrow, is at the very heart of the American dream. It is a dream that transcends generations, cultures, and backgrounds, uniting people in their pursuit of happiness and success. It's a concept as old as the nation itself, woven into the fabric of our national identity. The Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and countless other documents have enshrined this dream, making it a cornerstone of American life. It is a dream of upward mobility, of social and economic advancement through hard work, determination, and a little bit of luck. From the factory floors to the boardrooms, from the classrooms to the laboratories, Americans have strived to turn their dreams into reality. The American dream is not just about material wealth, it's about the pursuit of happiness, the freedom to chart your own course, and the belief that anything is possible if you dare to dream big. It's about community, family, and the shared experiences that bind us together. It's about the pursuit of happiness, the freedom to chart your own course, and the belief that anything is possible if you dare to dream big. Whether it's hiking in the majestic national park, starting a new business, or simply sharing a meal with friends, the American dream is alive in the everyday moments of life. It's a story we tell ourselves, a narrative passed down through generations. Grandparents share tales of their struggles and triumphs. Parents instill the values of hard work and perseverance, and children grow up with the belief that they can achieve anything they set their minds to. But how has this dream evolved over time? As the world changes, so too does the American dream. It has adapted to new challenges and opportunities, reflecting the dynamic nature of American society. Has it lived up to its promise? For some, the dream has been realized in ways they never imagined. For others, it remains an elusive goal, a reminder of the work still to be done to ensure that everyone has a fair shot at success. And what does the future hold for this enduring ideal? As we look to the horizon, we see a nation continually striving to live up to its highest ideals, a place where the dream of a better tomorrow remains a guiding light for all. The seeds of the American dream were sown long before the nation's founding. From the moment the first settlers set foot on American soil, they carried with them a vision of a new world, a place where they could build a better life. These early settlers faced immense challenges, from harsh weather to unfamiliar terrain, but their determination and hope for a brighter future kept them going. European settlers arrived on American shores with visions of a new Eden, a land of boundless opportunity. They saw America as a place where they could escape the rigid class structures of Europe and create a society based on merit and hard work. This dream of a new beginning was a powerful motivator, driving them to endure hardships and make sacrifices. The vast, untamed wilderness represented a chance for reinvention, a place where the old social hierarchies could be shed like snakeskin. The dense forests and expansive landscapes were both a challenge and an opportunity, offering the promise of land and resources to those willing to brave the unknown. For many, the frontier was a blank canvas on which they could paint their own destiny. This idea of America as a land of opportunity was further solidified during the westward expansion. As pioneers moved westward, they carried with them the hope of new beginnings and the promise of prosperity. The journey was arduous, fraught with dangers and uncertainties, but the allure of cheap land and the possibility of a fresh start was irresistible. The frontier, with its promise of cheap land and new beginnings, became synonymous with the American dream. Homesteaders staked their claims and built communities from the ground up, embodying the spirit of self-reliance and determination. These early settlers believed that with hard work and perseverance, they could achieve success and secure a better future for their families. It was a place where grit and determination, not pedigree or privilege, were the keys to success. The frontier was a proving ground for those who dared to dream big and work tirelessly to turn those dreams into reality. It was a land where anyone, regardless of their background, could rise to the challenge and carve out a place for themselves. This period gave rise to the myth of the rugged individual, the self-reliant pioneer, who carved out a life for himself and his family with nothing but his own two hands. These pioneers became symbols of the American spirit, embodying the values of independence, hard work, and resilience. Their stories of triumph over adversity inspired generations to come. It's a powerful and enduring image, one that continues to shape our understanding of the American dream. The legacy of these early settlers and pioneers is woven into the fabric of American culture, reminding us of the possibilities that come with courage and determination. Their experiences serve as a testament to the enduring appeal of the American dream. But this narrative often overshadows a darker reality. The expansion into the frontier was not without its consequences, particularly for the indigenous populations who had called these lands home for centuries. The arrival of settlers brought conflict, displacement, and suffering to Native American tribes. The westward expansion came at a terrible cost, displacing and decimating indigenous populations. The forced removal of Native Americans from their ancestral lands, often through violent means, left a lasting scar on the nation's history. Events like the Trail of Tears are a stark reminder of the human cost of this relentless push for expansion. This era also saw the entrenchment of slavery, a brutal system that denied basic human rights and opportunity to millions. Enslaved African Americans were forced to labor under inhumane conditions, their dreams and aspirations crushed by the institution of slavery. The legacy of this dark chapter continues to impact American society to this day, reminding us that the pursuit of the American dream has not been equally accessible to all. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw the rise of industrial capitalism and the growth of American cities. This era was marked by rapid urbanization, as people flocked to cities in search of better opportunities and a chance to improve their lives. The landscape of America was changing, with towering skyscrapers and sprawling factories becoming the new symbols of progress and prosperity. This period, often referred to as the Gilded Age, was a time of immense economic growth and technological innovation. Steam engines powered factories, railroads connected distant parts of the country, and new inventions like the telephone and electric light bulb transformed everyday life. The Gilded Age was a time of great promise and potential, as new technologies opened up possibilities that had previously been unimaginable. It was also a time of stark inequality, as the gap between the haves and the have-nots widened dramatically. While the wealthy built opulent mansions and enjoyed lives of luxury, many others lived in crowded tenements and struggled to make ends meet. The contrast between the rich and the poor was striking, and the social tensions of the time were palpable. Despite these disparities, the American dream remained a potent force. The idea that anyone could achieve success through hard work and determination was deeply ingrained in the national consciousness. People from all walks of life held on to the hope that they could rise above their circumstances and create a better future for themselves and their families. The rags to riches narrative took hold, fueled by stories of self-made men like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller. These individuals became icons of the American dream, embodying the belief that anyone, regardless of their background, could achieve great success. Their stories were celebrated in books, newspapers, and magazines, inspiring countless others to pursue their own dreams. These titans of industry who rose from humble beginnings to amass unimaginable fortunes became symbols of the American dream in action. Carnegie, who started as a poor immigrant, built a steel empire, while Rockefeller, the son of a traveling salesman, created a vast oil monopoly. Their success stories were seen as proof that America was truly the land of opportunity. This era also saw the rise of the Horatio Alger myth. Alger's novels, which typically featured impoverished boys who achieved success through hard work and virtue, reinforced the idea that anyone, regardless of their background, could achieve success in America. These stories were immensely popular and helped to perpetuate the belief in the possibility of upward mobility. Alger's novels, which typically featured impoverished boys who achieved success through hard work and virtue, reinforced the idea that anyone, regardless of their background, could achieve success in America. These stories were immensely popular and helped to perpetuate the belief in the possibility of upward mobility. They were read by millions and became a staple of American culture, shaping the aspirations of generations. However, the reality was much harsher for many. While the stories of Carnegie, Rockefeller, and Alger's fictional characters were inspiring, they were not representative of the experiences of most people. Many families lived in poverty, struggling to survive in overcrowded and unsanitary conditions. The promise of the American dream was out of reach for many, as systemic barriers and social inequalities made it difficult for them to improve their circumstances. Immigrants often faced discrimination and exploitation. They came to America with hopes of a better life, but many found themselves working long hours in dangerous conditions for meager wages. The dream of prosperity was elusive, as they encountered prejudice and were often relegated to the lowest-paying jobs. Despite their hard work, many immigrants struggled to achieve the success they had envisioned. Labor movements fought for basic rights and protections in the face of dangerous working conditions and meager wages. Workers organized strikes and formed unions to demand fair treatment and better pay. These movements were met with resistance from employers and the government, but they were crucial in improving the lives of many workers and laying the groundwork for future labor reforms. The American dream, it seemed, was not equally accessible to all. While some were able to achieve great success, many others were left behind. The Gilded Age was a time of both great opportunity and great inequality, and the legacy of this era continues to shape the American experience today. The dream of upward mobility remains a powerful force, but it is tempered by the recognition that systemic barriers and social inequalities still exist. A post-war dream, prosperity, and the suburban ideal. The end of World War II ushered in an era of unprecedented prosperity for many Americans. The economy boomed, fueled by government spending and a surge in consumer demand. This period saw the rise of the suburbs, as millions of Americans moved out of cities and into newly built homes. The American dream during this period became synonymous with home ownership, a stable job, a car in the driveway, and a family. This vision was reinforced by popular culture with television shows and movies depicting an idealized version of suburban life. This era also saw the expansion of higher education, as the GI Bill made college affordable for millions of veterans. This led to a more educated workforce and further fueled economic growth. However, this period of prosperity was not without its challenges. The civil rights movement exposed the deep racial inequalities that continued to plague American society. The American dream, it became clear, was still out of reach for many African Americans who faced discrimination in housing, education, and employment. Cracks in the facade inequality and the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s marked a turning point in the American consciousness. It challenged the nation to confront the hypocrisy of a dream that rang hollow for so many of its citizens. The brutal realities of segregation, discrimination, and disenfranchisement stood in stark contrast to the idyllic images of suburban bliss. The movement, fueled by the courage and sacrifice of countless activists, brought about significant legal and social changes. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 outlawed discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, dismantling the legal framework of segregation. Despite these victories, the struggle for true equality was far from over. The legacy of slavery and Jim Crow continued to cast a long shadow, manifesting in persistent economic and social disparities. The American dream, it became increasingly clear, would remain elusive for many without addressing systemic racism and inequality.